Hi, I've had anxiety for the longest period of time, and I didn't know I had anxiety till late 2016. July of 2017 was probably the month where my anxiety was at its peak. I didn't know what was going on. Why was I feeling so weak? Why was I crying? Why I couldn't get up from my bed? Why is my body giving up on me? Why are all of these thoughts covering me up? It was bad. But few months later, I kind of decided to battle it. I sat down and I wrote things that were bothering me and triggering my anxiety. At the end, it all came down to three things: art, physical health, and mental health. So on October 4th, I decided to start this experiment. I initially started out by writing logs. I divided them into three parts: the three things that were triggering my anxiety: art, physical health, and mental health. At the initial stage when I started writing these logs, it was mostly about me not having enough motivation to do anything. So I noted down what was messing me up, noted down why it was messing me up, and started researching on how I can fix it. The first in line was art. I saw that I was losing touch with it and decided to fix that. My low self-esteem was due to few things. Being bad at art and getting bad grades were the main ones. Before I go on with the video, I want to talk about this particular part. I wanted to improve my grades a lot, but sadly, I couldn't make a lot of progress on that part. Improving grades was the weak pillar in this experiment, or so I thought. Let me explain. Right now I'm in a junior college. I'm in 12th grade. At the end of the semester, we give board exams that are conducted by the government. So for the whole year, we are being prepared to give that board exam. What a lot of junior colleges do is when they take midterms or prelims, which are taken a month before final exams, they intentionally cut marks so that the children do not get ahead of themselves. Before, on average, I was scoring around 30 out of 80. After this experiment, I started scoring 40 out of 80, and my recent results show that I scored 50 out of 80. So even though my entries state that I was failing and improving, I technically wasn't. Now when I decided to start, I got to know about this thing called Inktober challenge, which basically means for the whole of October you have to draw an ink drawing. I was 4 days late, but I decided to start. I drew something or other for the whole of October. Initially, I didn't improve exponentially, but from October to January, the month I'm writing this script, if you compare, I have improved extremely. I also made a transition from traditional art to digital art, which has been coming up amazing. By fixing both of these, I somewhat fixed my low self-esteem.
But Ocus, you just told us what you did, not how you did it.
Yes, I'm getting to it. I did three main things: research, finding solutions, and applying them. So I did some research, went on few subreddits, talked to few people, and a lot of people were doing a lot of different things. That's when I kinda understood there isn't a right way to approach this. Everyone handles this in their own way. So whatever I did might or might not work for you, but it will most definitely give you ideas. What I decided to go with is what I call honest over modest. It has a good rhyme scheme to it, shut up. Which, surprise surprise, means you have to be honest with yourself. I saw myself being overly modest. When someone said you're good at making videos, I went on to say, no, look at all these people. They're much better. Or when someone said, I like the way you rap, I said, I don't rap. These lyrics aren't even mine. Maybe because I wasn't comfortable with myself deep down enough. So I decided to write all of these down. I wrote everything down that made me feel low about myself and the things that I thought I was bad at. And I started being honest with myself. Soon I came to realize I was being way too hard on myself, and my modesty was somewhat fucking me up. You can call it fake modesty if you'd like, but it was what it was. Next came mental and physical health. I had become very self-conscious. I was uncomfortable with my body, especially my chest and my wrists. I had started to think that I was underweight. I thought that I was starting to look like I hadn't eaten for days, and it was time to fix that. I decided that I'll have to fix a healthy diet for myself and stop putting my heart and my soul and my health and everything into YouTube, because it was kind of eating me away. I was once just editing, and out of nowhere I started bleeding from my nose, which got me really thinking about the amount of stress that I was taking where it wasn't even required. Of course, it wasn't just YouTube. There were a lot of small other reasons, but YouTube was the main one. Next day, I did the same thing I did for everything else. Researched, found solution, and applied them. I found out that the reason my chest looked so weird was because of rickets. It wasn't a severe case or anything, it was mostly because I wasn't going outside, getting enough sunlight or eating good food that had enough vitamin D in it. So I started going outside more. Well, not technically. I just went outside for an hour between 11 AM to 1 PM, as that's when the vitamin D is highest in the sunlight. I started eating stuff that had a lot of vitamin D in it. It wasn't as easy as it sounds. I was fucking dying for the first week, but eventually I did do it and it felt great. It was amazing. I still feel that that month was the most productive month I've ever had. Finally, for my mental health, I didn't do a whole lot, and surprisingly, it didn't require much. All I had to do was write whatever I felt, be honest, and work on everything I felt wasn't right. Every time I felt I was not good enough, I wrote it down, and just below it, I wrote stuff down honestly. I have friends that appreciate me and have done a whole lot of stuff for me. I cannot be that bad. And you know what? Sometimes it's okay to be a teensy tiny bit cocky and show off a little bit. As long as it's helping you and not hurting anybody else, go for it. Just don't be a cunt. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to read all the separate logs and entries I did, I'll leave a link down in the description where you can read all of them. If you pay close attention, you can actually see my transition from being a bit sad and feeling a bit lonely to feeling a bit alright and feeling actually much better. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope this video helped you in some way, may it be anxiety or anything else. Lastly, thanks for being here. As pandering as it sounds, I don't think I would have done all of this if I hadn't had anybody to show it to. I'm glad all of you guys watch my silly stuff that I make, and as always, I don't